Hello again, welcome to class 850. All right, let's continue with our gain fluency with our micro paragraphs. I enjoy these paragraphs. All right, paragraph number 166. We started it yesterday. I'm living in a hotel right now. Fíjate, estoy usando el presente continuo porque es muy transitorio. Yeah. I'm living in a hotel right now. I live in a hotel is correct. Richard, where do you live? Me? I live in a hotel. Richard, ¿dónde vive? Yo vivo en un hotel. Ahora, estoy viviendo en un hotel, a lo mejor durante un par de meses nada más. I'm living in a hotel right now. Por decir, ahora mismo estoy en un hotel. I'm living in a hotel right now. I decided to try this arrangement. I decided to try page 24, paragraph 166. I decided to try this arrangement. Decidí probar este arreglo. Arrangement. I decided to try this arrangement rather than renting an apartment. Alternativa. I decided to try this arrangement instead of renting, en vez de, en lugar de alquilar un apartamento. I decided to try this arrangement instead of renting an apartment. I decided to try, probar, to try this arrangement rather than renting an apartment. It's a little more expensive, but it's a lot less complicated. Yeah. Yesterday, at the end of the class, I calculated going to a 4-star hotel. What's the average rate? What's the average rate in this city? I'm in Madrid. What's the average rate for a 4-star hotel? I don't know. I really don't know. 160? I imagine if you rent a room, for example, a 4-star hotel with 150 rooms, what's the average occupancy? ¿Entiendes occupancy? ¿Ocupancia? No, ocupación. Bueno, say ocupancia en inglés. Occupancy. What's the average occupancy? If the price is 160 euros per night. Probably it's more in Madrid. Now it's probably more. Probably 200 euros a night. Okay, 200 euros a night. But what's the average occupancy? For example, during the week or on the weekend, in February, March, November, the low season. You have low season and high season. Temporada alta, temporada baja. Temporada media, medium season. Low season and high season. Probably the average occupancy during the year is maybe 50%. Okay. Now if I go to a hotel and say, I want to rent a room for the entire year. How much? Including breakfast, eh? And it's 200. Do you think I could get it for 100? I don't think so. ¿Crees que me lo darían por 100? Pero les resuelve una habitación. I mean, the cost of a room, the cost of a room, for the hotel, the cost is the climatization, air conditioning and heating, the electricity in the room, and the cleaning of the room. And that's it. Depreciación sobre el activo, amortización de la inversión in that room, okay. But probably the daily cost of the room in uso, when it's being used, is maybe 3 euros. I mean, it's 5 euros. Because the electricity for one day and the gas or climatization for one day is nothing. Very, very low. And so If I pay 100 euros, that's a margin of 95 euros for the company, for the hotel, every day of the year. So I'll say 100 euros. That will cost me about 38,000 euros a year. Okay, that's a lot of money. Wow, that's a lot of money. You know, if it's 100 euros a day, that's 36,500 euros. 36,000 divided by 12 months, it's 3,000 euros a month. Bueno, no es tanto. 3,000 euros a month. But you don't have to clean it. No cleaning. You don't have the electricity, the hotel pays. The gas, the hotel pays. Everything is paid by the hotel. And the breakfast. All right. But you have to have lunch and dinner out. Because you don't have a kitchen. Well, maybe you can buy a little kitchenette. Yeah? You know, do it. I know, it's an interesting 3,000 euros a day, a month. All right. Not bad. But I don't live alone. I don't live alone. But I remember one man, a student of mine, who lived in a 5-star hotel in Madrid every day of the year. He was divorced, and he lived in a 5-star hotel. And there are a lot of hotels in this city and other cities, hotel residencia, no sé qué. And so they have, you know, for long-term stays. But in any case, I'm living in a hotel right now. I decided to try this arrangement. En castellano diríais, he decidido probar. En inglés, decidí. I decided to try this arrangement rather than renting an apartment, which R aquí, rather than renting an apartment. It's a little more expensive, but it's a lot less complicated. Yeah, it's a lot less complicated. Having to pay every month al casero, you know, to the casero in English, the landlord. We have two words. If it's male, landlord, el casero, de la casa, el dueño. Landlord, es el lord de la tierra. Landlord, pero se dice todavía. Landlord and landlady. Landlord or the landlady. Strange, these are very old words. I'm surprised we still use them. But you have to pay the landlord. Yeah. And you have to pay 2 months in advance. You know, you have to pay deposits of 2 months. It's a mess sometimes. And then things happen, and you call the landlord, hey, Manuel, yeah, Richard, yeah, listen, hay una fuga de gas, hay una fuga de agua, you know. And then he takes him 2 weeks to repair it. It's a mess. It's a pain in the neck, right? Or a pain in the ass. And so, you know, a hotel, you say, reception, oh, there's a leak. Oh, we'll move you temporarily to another room. Okay. They move me temporarily to another room. So it's a lot less complicated. So I'm living in a hotel right now. I decided to try this arrangement rather than renting a room, renting an apartment. It's a little more expensive. But it's a lot less complicated. If you memorize this paragraph and say it 10 times, your English will improve. And if you do it with every paragraph, the sky is the limit. All right, paragraph 167, page 24. All right, if you're interested in meeting some wealthy people, there's an investors convention in the hotel across the street. You might want to go over there and see what's going on. All right. This is a conversation between two people, Mr. A and Mr. B. Now, apparently, Mr. B is interested in meeting people with money. Maybe he's looking for investors. Okay. And me, I'm Mr. A, and I say to Mr. B, well, if you're interested in meeting some wealthy people, there's an investors convention, un congreso de inversores, en el hotel de enfrente. There's a, there's an investors convention in the hotel across the street. You might want to go there. A lo mejor quieres ir ahí. You might want, puede que quieras, a lo mejor quieres ir ahí. You might want to go over there. Fíjate, digo over there porque se ve. Hay referencia visual. You might want to go over there. ¿Lo ves? See that hotel across the street? Do you see that hotel across the street? There's an investors convention right now in the hotel. There are a lot of people with money. Yeah, with plata or pasta. No sé si pasta en Latinoamérica. Tiene mucha plata. Okay. There's a lot of people with money over there. Yes. You might want to go over there and see what's going on. A ver lo que pasa. And see what is going on. What's going on? What's going on? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? What's going on? Hey, oye, ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué barullo? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué? What's going on? Nothing, Daddy. Nothing, Papa. No, nothing. Come on, what's going on? Nothing. What were you? ¿Qué estaba diciendo? What were you doing? What were you guys doing? We were studying for the exam tomorrow at school. Oh yeah, sure. Okay. What's going on? What's going on es qué pasa cuando es actividad. What happens is qué ocurre. Huh? What happens? ¿Qué pasa cuando tu mujer se enfada contigo? What happens? And this is what happens. A ver, ¿qué pasa aquí? Eh? What's going on? What's going on? Going on. So, if you're interested, sé que estás buscando inversores. Sí, lo sé. I know you're looking for investors. If you're interested in meeting some wealthy people, gente adinerada, wealthy people. If you're interested in meeting some wealthy people, there's an investors convention in the hotel across the street. You might want to go over there and see what's going on. Check it out, man. Yeah. You never know. You have some good business ideas. And if you present the ideas, who knows? You never know. If you don't go, yeah. Nothing risked, nothing gained. Se dice mucho en inglés. Nada arriesgado, nada ganado. Nothing risked, nothing gained. So go over there. All right. Paragraph number 168. The weather turned cold and rainy on the second day and forced us to cancel some of our plans. Yeah. It's too bad. Es una lástima. It's too bad. It's too bad. Literalmente es demasiado malo, pero significa es una lástima. Oh, it's too bad. Se dice 1000 veces más, it's too bad, or that's too bad. Ay, qué lástima. Perdiste el partido? Ay, qué lástima. Oh, that's too bad. I'm so sorry. Sorry. That's too bad. Qué pena. That's too bad. What a shame. What a pity. Pero se dice 1000 veces más. That's too bad. Yeah. The weather turned cold and rainy on the second day and forced us to cancel our plans. Nos obligó. El tiempo atmosférico nos obligó a cancelar nuestros planes, anular nuestros planes. The weather turned cold and rainy, frío y lluvioso. Yeah. The weather turned cold and rainy on the second day and forced us, fonética, forced us. Nos forzaron. Suena fuerte en castellano, pero en inglés no. Nos obligó. And forced us to cancel our plans. It's too bad. Es una lástima. We were planning to play some golf, jugar un poco de golf, to play some golf and learn how to water ski. Do you know how to water ski? No? I do. I'm good. I was good. Water skier, con un solo ski. Yeah. And to learn how to water ski. So, bad luck. When you go on vacation, you run the risk of bad weather. It's true. Yeah, you run the risk of bad weather. But that's life. Yeah. the weather turned cold and rainy. Fíjate. El verbo to turn, como girar, torcer, to turn. Tiene muchos significados, especially phrasal verbs. Turn out, turn over, turn on, etc. But the weather turned, se tornó, o sea, volvió, frío y lluvioso. The weather turned cold and rainy on the second day and forced us to cancel our plans. It's too bad. We were planning to play some golf and to learn how to water ski. Well, you can water ski in the rain. No, you can't. Usually not. I know because I've experienced water skiing in the rain. And when it's raining, the water becomes choppy. Choppy means turbulencia acuática, the water muy mar brava. Yeah. And it's difficult to ski. You can do it, but it's not fun because it's boom, the waves, boom. And so it's difficult to water ski when it's raining. All right. And so we were planning to play some golf and learn how to water ski. But it's too late now. The weather turned cold and rainy. And besides, it's cold. It's not fun to... Well, you can water ski with a suit. Un traje de goma estos. You can water ski. But that's too much. That's too much. All right. How much time? Oh, okay. I'm going to finish this page. All right. Paragraph number 169. Do you really think esto es aplicable ahora. Do you really think the new government is going to lower taxes? Do you really think the government is going to lower taxes? Of course, they promised to do that during the campaign. But the current budget deficit is at historic levels. Okay, no, esto no es aplicable aquí. Porque el actual gobierno no prometía bajar puestos, prometía subir puestos a los ricos. Okay, yeah, los ricos se llevan su dinero fuera. Si lo hacen, entonces es peor. All right, do you really think, de verdad crees, que van a bajar los impuestos? Come on. Entonces es iluso. Do you really think, con esta entonación, do you really think the government is going to lower taxes, to raise taxes, to lower taxes, to raise taxes and to lower taxes? Okay? To raise and to lower. Activando. ¿Recuerdas el puente levadizo? Cuando viene el rey, bajas el castillo y entra. Y una vez dentro, first, when you see, the king is coming, lower the drawbridge. Lower, and he goes in with his séquito, with his people. He goes in and then raise the drawbridge, porque hay un foso, ¿no? De agua. There's a moat. Escrito moat. A moat around the castle with alligators and things. Yeah, okay. They raise the drawbridge, to raise and to lower. Do you really think the new government, el nuevo gobierno, do you really think the new government is going to lower taxes? Of course, they promised to do that. Prometieron hacer eso during the campaign. Yeah. But the current budget deficit, el actual déficit presupuestario, the current budget deficit is at historic levels. Historic levels. So probably the government will decide not to lower taxes, but to raise taxes maybe. George Bush father. He was the President of the United States from January 1989 until January 1993. In November 1992, he lost the elections against Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton won. One of the reasons that George Bush father lost was because during his campaign in 1988, before he became president, after Ronald Reagan, he said to the American public, standing at a podium, giving a talk, and he said, "Read my lips." Leed mis labios. He said, no new taxes. Nada de impuestos nuevos. He said, read my lips. No new taxes. And everybody in the audience screamed, no new taxes. All right. However, 2 years into his term, he raised taxes. The economic situation changed. Okay. But in any case, he should have found a different way to make that promise and to say, read my lips. And people remembered that. They never forgot that. And many people who voted for him in 1988 voted for Bill Clinton or Ross Perot in 1992. Okay, so do you really think the new government is going to lower taxes? Do you really think the new government is going to lower taxes? Of course, they promised that during the campaign. Yes, but the current budget deficit is at historic levels. All right? One more. The bottom, 170, the paragraph at the bottom of page 24. Do you remember what I told you last week about negative people? Do you remember or not? Do you remember? Do you remember what I told you last week about negative people? Come on. You don't remember? Do you remember what I told you last week about negative people? Don't you remember? Carmenchu, don't you? ¿No te acuerdas? Don't you? Don't you remember? Don't let negative people into your life. Don't let negative people into your life. No dejes que la gente negativa dentro de tu vida, o sea, que entre en tu vida. Don't let, fíjate, no se usa, en español hay que añadir el verbo entrar. No dejes que la gente negativa entre en tu vida. Entre. Y en inglés, no dejes a la gente negativa en tu vida, dentro de tu vida. Don't let negative people into your life. They're toxic and will end up hurting you. They are toxic. ¿A que sí? Son tóxicos. Yeah, la gente negativa es tóxica. Perniciosa. Yeah. They're toxic. Pernicious. También se dice en inglés pernicious. They're toxic. And they will end up hurting you. Acabarán haciéndote daño. And they will end up hurting you. Do you remember what I told you last week? Aparecer ha dejado un negativo en su vida. Do you remember what I told you last week? Don't you remember? Don't you remember? Don't let negative people into your life. Yeah, they're toxic. Son tóxicos. They are toxic. Contracción there. They're toxic. And they'll, no, es que no se repite they. They're toxic and will, vamos directamente al verbo auxiliar, and will end up, terminar, haciendo daño, end up hurting you. This is true. Don't let negative people into your life. Don't. They're toxic. It's true. And they will end up hurting you. Okay? Do you understand? Don't let negative people into your life. People who are living an ongoing drama. People with a black cloud following them. Don't let these people into your life. Even if they are family members. In the stage of life, in el escenario. ¿Tienes El patio de butacas y el gallinero. Sí, the gallinero, no? Yeah. On the first row, positive people. On the second row, positive people. In the balcony, see the balcón para el gallinero, the balcony, as far away as possible, negative people. Keep negative people away, even if they are members of your family, because they will bring you down. They will bring you down, te derribarán, te traerán hacia abajo. They will bring you down. And so, I agree with this. Do you remember what I told you? ¿Te acuerdas lo que te dije? ¿O qué es lo que te dije? Do you remember what? Do you remember what I told you last week about negative people? Don't you remember? Al parecer no se acuerda. Don't you remember? ¿No te acuerdas? Don't you remember? Don't let negative people into your life. They're toxic and will end up hurting you. Okay? See you tomorrow.